Back with the Breakfast Club. Brian Angus here. Delighted to be with you this morning. I've been telling you about this all morning. Thanks so much for those of you who have tweeted me and sent me your comments. Delighted to be joined by a guy I've got to know very well over the past few years, Rob Zamuner. I told you all morning long he's with the NHLPA negotiating committee, had a great career in the NHL, played with the Rangers and Tampa Bay Lightning, amongst others. Once upon a time, and I'm going to get him to tell you the story right now, I looked him up when he was playing hockey in Australia, of all places. Rob Zamuner joins me. Good morning, Rob.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good. So I'm going to keep this light, and I'm going to pose some of the questions people have asked you, but it's obviously a very serious matter for a lot of people. But before we get to it, tell the story again. Why, after I know that after you ended up playing with the Bruins towards the end of your career, you ended up in Switzerland and Italy for a little bit. Why did you end up playing hockey in Australia, of all places?
Travel fascinates me and my wife, and after we had the experience in Switzerland and in Italy, I had a friend call me and ask me if I wanted to come to Australia, and I didn't even know that they had hockey in Australia, and I sloughed it off for a couple of weeks, and he kept on calling me, and he said, "Listen, why don't you come over and help coach and play and do some youth camps?" And my wife and I looked at each other and said, "Why not?" And we packed up the three kids. I think they were 5, 4, and 2 at the time, and took the long journey over there. And we were about an hour south of Brisbane, and saw another part of the world that we may not otherwise had the chance. And it was a wonderful experience. I learned how to surf. We were right on the ocean, and the kids had a blast, and was able to introduce some new ideas and techniques on the ice, and I had a blast. It was great.
Okay. And I remember it well, and I also remember talking to you when you guys did 10 countries in 10 days, the NHL throughout Europe, taking equipment to all kinds of different places. That was very interesting, and I know that the NHLPA, and I'm not just, folks, I'm being very even about this morning when I start to look at these tweets that we received. I mean, the NHLPA, and talking to Rob, I've dealt with him as a member of the PA and as a player through good times, and they do a lot of great work. This is not a funny issue that's going on right now. Obviously, this is affecting a lot of people who are being hurt very hard. Not talking about players here and talking about owners. A lot of people out there who've got children who rely on the NHL to make money to pay the rent. And they are hurting an awful lot right now. And I know that Rob and the PA are not just, I trust what this guy has to say. I know that they think about all of this. But Rob, let me just, as I've been encouraging people to come to this site today, just give you 2 or 3 of them, okay? Jim texted me emailed me from, or tweeted me from Barry. He says, ask Rob, why don't the players just tell Donald Fear, just sign the deal as it is right now? The players will continue to be millionaires, the owners will continue to be billionaires, and we'll get hockey back on the ice in no time at all.
No, that's a great question, and it's not a simple answer. And as of this today, there isn't a comprehensive or a full proposal there for the players to sign. The players have conceded $1 billion to this day in this negotiation process. They have tried to get a deal done, trying to accomplish to get a pension. That careers are short, and it's something that that is very important to them. But there's certain mechanisms in the proposal that will severely limit players' flexibility, and you only get so many chances to get a shot at having a chance to get a contract that you have a little more movement on, and it's a complicated issue. Believe me, the players are trying their best. Last week we had 18 players in the negotiation sessions, and from player number 1 to player number 23, they're all trying their best, and they feel just as frustrated as all the fans. They want to play, and they want a fair deal, Brian, and that's it's complicated, but at the very end of it, it's simple. They want a fair deal, and they're trying their best.
But I don't want to speak for Jim at all. I'm not going to. But I sit here doing this every day. We're on the air from 7 in the morning until midnight. I'm absolutely inundated, Rob, with people who don't care about all that. They understand. They don't want to know all the mechanics, all the rest of it. The big picture, and I think what Jim was alluding to is, at some time or other, a deal's got to be signed. Life's going to go on. Hockey's going to go on, and really, they think at the end of the day, the overwhelming response I have is, if I know it's been unfair to the players in many instances. Certainly, you guys have done a great job of getting out there talking about it, but enough talking. It might not be exactly what you want. It might be unfair, but at the end of the day, just sign it, get on with it. And it happened before, after the lockout, and revenues are up by $3 million. The players are still making their money, and players in the future are going to make their money. I think that's the frustration. People just want you guys to sign the deal, whether it's right or wrong.
No, I understand that, and that's why I stuttered a little bit in that last question, because I don't want to get into the mechanisms of the deal, because that's what people don't want to hear. They just want to see hockey on the ice again, and so do the players. And again, I'll repeat myself, and I'm simplifying it, but they just want to get a fair deal, and they're working hard at it, and there's all this rhetoric out there that the season will be lost. I'm hopeful that's not the case, and let's hope we're going to have hockey back on the ice sooner rather than later.
Okay, George tweeted me from New York this morning, and I can tell you, by the way, I will just say this to you, probably don't know it, but Roman Hamrlik obviously was talking yesterday. He was on our site with Josh Rimmer last night, and he did say he would support any secret vote the players would take regarding the latest offer by the NHLPA. He said he would support that. I know Grapes is all over the papers this morning. He said on his show yesterday on The Fan that what the players got to lose. No one's going to say anything publicly about breaking ranks, but do it on a secret basis to find out where they really are. What does it hurt? George from New York says, end this right now, take a secret vote, and find out where the players really are. What do you think about that?
Well, listen, I played with Roman for 5 years. He's a good man, and everyone has a right to their opinion, and he's frustrated, just like the fans are, just like the players are, and I'm sure the owners are frustrated. If I look back at my career and what happened through my career in '94, there was a lockout. In 2004, the lockout ended my career, and it's unfortunate, but the guys before me, the Ted Lindsays of the world, and those guys that stuck up for the rights for them and for the guys after them, they made a better situation for myself and the guys in 2004. I'm not bitter. I wish I could have played, but I think that that's how hockey players are wired. You're team players, and you're trying to get set up the deal the best you can for yourself and for the next generation. And again, the fans are frustrated. I'm sure the owners are, and you know what? Roman is he's a good man, and he wants to play, and he's frustrated with the process. It takes time. Everybody wanted to have hockey September 15th. The owners decided to lock us out, and since then we've been trying to work out a deal. And believe me, Brian, I'd like the hockey to be started yesterday, but it's going to take something that the players and the owners are going to have to agree to, something that's fair for both sides. And I think both sides are going to have to give, and the players have given $1 billion already, and let's hope we're moving towards a deal sooner rather than later.
Joan tweeted me from Detroit. He said, tell Rob I've forgotten who the heck is even on my Red Wing team this year. Donald Fear and his ego are holding all of this up. Well, I'm sure you don't agree with that, but again, that's the kind of thing that's out there from the fans.
No, and listen, that's out there, that this is Don's ego, and if Don had a big ego, he would never have allowed the 18 players to go in to a meeting with the owners and have a player owners only meeting. He knew that had the potential to move the deal closer to an agreement, and if you take all the rhetoric out, we did have some progress last week. And again, I haven't seen it, I've spent a lot of time around Don, and you know what, players, if they saw any ego on his part, they would tell him. Hockey players aren't shy to tell their teammates what they think of them. Believe me, I've been in the dressing room when guys challenge each other, and Don is no different. If they didn't like what Don was doing, then they voiced their opinion, and so the thought of Don's ego getting in the way of this, listen, maybe I'm biased, Brian, but I haven't seen any of that.
Grape says in his article, or in his talk yesterday, he talked about how angry Gary was and that whole charade that went on what was it, Thursday now, the double presser that Don presented after coming out and, seeming so optimistic about the whole thing. Part of the thing I hate about this, Robin, and sometimes it makes me cringe, the guys in my own business, but unfortunately there's 900 guys who are colleagues of mine in suits with their shoes all shined up waiting to talk about hockey this year. And they're filling the airways with speculation on each and everything, and it's all getting overanalyzed and all the rest of it. Let me ask you this. Since it seems like you guys in the league are so close, and I've followed this very closely, it seems that you're so close, and your own colleagues have talked about how you guys have agreed on the 50-50 and all the rest of it. Since you are so close, do you not think there's hope yet for this to be done, in much like when a couple has a real argument with each other and they make a decision while they're red hot and they come back a day or two later when they've cooled off and they see things much more closely? I guess what I'm getting to is, although it was a real charade and a lot of nonsense happened on those two press conferences on Thursday, maybe just getting away from each other for a few days will help move this forward when you guys are allegedly going to meet tomorrow.
I certainly hope so, Brian. Looking back at it, it wasn't a charade for us. The players felt that we were very close to a deal, and what transpired was a difference of opinions, I guess, through the pressers. But players felt that we're very close, and the situation doesn't lie. That the numbers, the financial numbers, were even, and there was just some different mechanisms. Again, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to. I want to keep it simplified. But the players felt they were close, and I think you make a great point. Sometimes you take 2 or 3 days off, and if there's bargaining sessions this week, then I think because we are so close, players are hopeful. Myself personally, I'm hopeful too that we'll get closer to a resolution sooner rather than later.
Rob, it's 8:55 here on the Breakfast Club. I'll give you this opportunity to say what you want to say, and don't forget we've got 3.5 million people signed up for this site. So you go ahead and just take 30 seconds to say what you want to say to them directly, who have been posing these types of questions, and to be honest, just want to get this deal done.
No, I think the questions that you asked me today were. They're honest, they're pointed, and I think it displays the fact that hockey is like religion here in Canada, and hockey's been great to me personally. It's been a privilege to play in the NHL. My kids play it. My sons ask me every morning when hockey's going to be back on the ice, and now that I'm being part of this whole process, it's been very interesting. It's been frustrating. It's been time consuming. All of the above, and I really do feel that I may be biased because I'm on the one side, but I really do believe that the players are trying their best to get this deal done as quick as possible. Fair it is for the players, and I believe the owners too. The owners aren't bad guys. They're trying to get the best deal for themselves. And listen, players have a short career span, and they're trying to maximize their potential to earn a fair deal, and that's basically what it is. And let's hope we can get on this and do this again, and we'll forget all about this last 3-4 months.
Well, there will be hockey again, Rob. You might as well make it sooner rather than later, because you'll never, there's going to be hockey again. It's happened before, and I'm afraid at the end of the day, I hate to see apathy setting in, because the damage this is doing to the game in the States, where a lot of people down there don't even know there's a lockout on. Here, where it's God, I speak to so many people and I get so many calls. They've just given up. To heck with it. To hell with them, because whether we like it or not, Rob, and I know you guys in the room know it, and I admire you, and I like you personally. But people just think it's a bunch of billionaires arguing with a bunch of millionaires, and they're going to be millionaires and billionaires when they walk away from all of this. And that's the where it's at right now. They're throwing their hands up and saying to hell with them. And it's a shame that all of that loyalty and all of that passion has come to this, because one way or another, for all valid reasons, you guys can't work it out.
Yeah, and again, Brian, I appreciate your time and allowing me to be on your show, and I know that sometimes, I wish I had a magic wand and could make this
Yep.
thing go away, but this is something that the players are working hard. The staff at the PA are working hard, and every day it's not like we're sitting on our hands not doing it. I mean, every day there's the economists, the lawyers, the players working hard. Trying to come up with solutions, trying to get this finished. So we can get back on the ice, and I really appreciate your time, Brian.
Yeah, Rob, thank you. And I really look forward to talking to you about your next endeavor and where you're traveling to and all the good things that happen in this league, and start to talk about all the wonderful talent that the players that you are working for their display to is night in and night out. Rob, thanks for taking the time this morning. I know that you guys are getting asked for a lot of interviews. I really do appreciate it, you and Jonathan Weatherden, for setting this up.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, take care. Well, there you are, folks, 8:59. I've got a dash. I put some of your questions, some of your tweets directly to Rob. I think I asked them very fairly and clearly what's on people's minds. I'm not going to resolve anything. I have invited the NHL to come on to give their side of things. They have so far not taken me up on their offer. I think I've reflected what a lot of you out there feel, that this is just millionaires and billionaires fighting with each other, and it's embarrassing that they can't get it sorted out no matter what's going on. And I thank you very much for all the tweets that you sent in. That's what this next Sports Star site's all about. Coming up next, Tony House. It's 8:59. I'm Brian Angus, looking forward to being back with you tomorrow morning here at 7 o'clock. Get out there, get some exercise, folks. You never appreciate your health until you lose it. See you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.
All humanity be together.